Yo, Starsky. Yes, sir. Got this little roach. We finna spark up while we react to these, you feel me, little crime video. Got my little drink, you feel me, my little drink. Hold on, y'all can't even see, hold on. I promise y'all, got my drink. Last stream, a nigga was telling me I ain't had no sheets in my, motherfucking bed, bitch. Wait, bitch. I don't got no sheets on my bed. Watch this, alright. Bitch, sheets. Oh my dead homie, this is sheets. I don't gotta have sheets on my bed, bitch. I got sheets. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Stop playing with me. Yeah. I just had to disclose that also before we get into this. You feel me? But I'ma go spark up on the stove. I don't got no lighter. And then we gonna get into this video. Not the serial killer one, but this other one. Let me turn my mic down just so. But I am gonna turn my mic down just so I'm not so loud for y'all. I'm gonna turn my mic down. Feel me?
Goals. A toxic and lethal combination primed for action.
I'm gonna go spark up. I'll be right back.
He's always a patient, you know, and you're a patient, you never get paid off because I missed him so long. So we got it all worked out now. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to move on.
Serial murderers often identify a special first target. First targets may form the basis for desired characteristics in future murder victims, i.e. blonde hair, short, quiet.
We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so.
What?
Anyway, we're something here tomorrow's house, probably. And we have a new victim now. Her name is Miranda Chicago. She started she's told me to be quiet and to shut up, so now she's dead. I've always wanted to make a mark on anyone, so. And this is a good way to do it.
He said this is a good way to do it.
I love this poor movies. He's my love. Boring, you know.
This goal may be driven by a subconscious yearning for general acceptance and feelings of belongingness.
No, you know, never know my name. Well, I care. So killing people. They're behaviors now. And their massacre lasted 45 minutes. And ours is probably gonna last like 2 weeks. Well, it's really super smart about it. I think we could maybe 8 kills.
8 kills.
20 kills. That's a lot of kills. That's a lot of people to kill. But there's a lot of people in this one. I agree.
It seems that although Draper and Adam Schick aspire toward the same goal, one primary motivation behind their intent differs.
Bro,
They
these
both
niggas
seek
is
fame
crazy.
and thrill, but Draper might be further involved by an obsessive fixation on Cassie, whereas Adam Schick fantasizes about killing multiple people, often. Adam Schick never mentions Cassie by name, and goes so far as to set a lofty goal of killing 20 people.
It shall be done. We will see. We'll go on there, you know, breaking houses and stuff. 3-piece. Should you be in class? Sir? We're taking her back to me right now. Oh, sorry. No, it's cool, it's cool. We're talking to her, just for school.
Yeah.
For school projects. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you call it project, right?
Yeah.
The hell you guys do?
Quite nice.
Yes, it does.
So
How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
You playing soccer?
Not this year. I decided to not play soccer this year. I have more important things to do. Wow. So, I'm not playing soccer.
This implies that Draper and Adamczyk had been planning Cassie's murder before the beginning of the school year. Adamczyk had called a friend on August 31st, 2006, to ask for help purchasing knives under the guise of wanting to start a collection. They would use them to kill Cassie less than a month later.
And you're on JV, I think it. Really, you're on varsity?
Importantly, as Draper fearlessly navigates the conversation, he displays little to no signs of anxiety or fear, calling into question his anxiety diagnosis. Remember this as we progress, as Draper exhibits signs of anxiety, aggression, anger, or sadness. From the take-control behavior he displays here, we can infer that Draper is the primary instigator, or the ringleader, but the evidence is conflicting.
I'm supposed to go to the game tomorrow.
What game?
Foosball.
Are you running back?
I'm going with my grandpa. That's right after we leave. So,
Is this...
So you take it so
no. Just not playing soccer. I know. It's terrible. What the hell are you doing? Put one on our camera now. For all you viewers, this is the 3-piece in biscuit. 3-piece of biscuit.
Inside joke.
That's his name, man. And he
Bro,
plays
what's wrong with that
foosball.
nigga, man?
He stopped to say hi. Okay. Yep. Stay tuned for
Their well-meaning classmate feigns choking, a perverse and ironic foreshadowing of the death that would occur later that night. This classmate later testified as a civilian witness in Adamczyk's trial, State versus Adamczyk. Their lighthearted interaction suggests that Draper and possibly Adamczyk may have been more involved and accepted in their high school community than is typical of youth with violent and antisocial proclivities, as it seems Draper and Adamczyk display. Draper specifically seems to have been well ingrained. During his trial, character witnesses explained that he appeared to be a healthy, happy teenage boy, which suggests he has a keen ability to blend into normalcy.
Nah.
Sorry, meats. Okay, we're back. Sorry that was kind of not planned, but you know, shit happens.
You sound like a Sorry.
who's surprised? That's my food. That's good.
Now you know what kind of person Brian is.
Hey, come on.
I like the way this ends. And we will her.
Just go ahead. And then, okay. Scenario C.
For those of you planning to make a movie about mine, this is me. My
Obituary. Your information.
my
What?
giving you the right to copy me as a character that looks like me. Because I know in Hollywood they usually have people complain they can't have people looking like the real thing.
His creeping drawl as he speaks of his future fame is chilling. He displays pronounced narcissistic behavior.
I don't care. It's my body. I get to choose how I look in the movie.
Well
want
said.
you to look just like him. The character to look like him.
Well said, well said.
So if my parents are like, no, you can't do that, it's not my parents' choice, it's mine.
Say fuck it, man. Let me just do that.
And if they try and sue you, use the state as a backup. See ya. They can't do it.
Yep. I heard it. I'm the same way. Okay.
Scenario C.
How about Matt arrives at the same time as Cass? How about we hide inside the house?
Mine, two.
Me, sorry, our locker. Got my Halloween
Pretty
style.
fucking sweet, isn't it?
My trench coat.
Adam Chick's locker is evidence of his obsession with horror. Posters plaster the inside. Unsurprisingly, we see the movie Scream.
Jeez, that's sweet. Smokes here.
Well, I'm gonna...
Look at those little legs.
What a...
Let's go.
We see that his television is on, and a closer examination reveals that the movie that inspired Cassie's murder, Scream, is playing. Just hours prior to the murder at approximately 5:28 p.m., Draper seems to be practicing and gathering momentum, hyping himself up for what will follow. We hear a brief, chilling, and discordant musical hum before we find ourselves back with the pair in Adam Chick's car.
We're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour.
Nah, that shit
We
crazy.
checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors.
Let me get my cover,
There-
man.
There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. That's all unlocked. Now we just gotta wait, and we're really nervous right now. But, we're ready.
We're listening to the greatest rock band
We've waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We've waited
These
for a long
niggas is
time.
crazy.
We'll stay tuned. Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat, and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie.
Draper divulges that he stabbed Cassie in the throat, and
Nah,
shortly
what the
following,
fuck?
we hear a full variant of the phrase, "just killed Cassie," as "I just killed Cassie." In the interviews that followed, the two attempted to downplay their roles in the crime. Moreover, Draper claimed he only stabbed Cassie because Adam Chick told him he had to. In stark contrast to his claim, Draper singularly stakes claim to Cassie's murder here, stating "I" instead of "we."
Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
It's okay. Okay, let's buy movie tickets now.
Okay.
Come on, goodbye.
No.
Goodbye.
As he straddles the line between shock and euphoria, consider one key observation. Draper's voice is crystal clear. Draper transitions through periods of low, moderate, and severe slurring and stuttering throughout these videos. Accounts of friends and
Gang,
family
this
indicate
nigga
that
is
Draper had
crazy.
a noticeable stutter throughout childhood. He was targeted by his peers, the victim of bullying. The forensic psychologist responsible for his evaluation believed this contributed to the development of his violent tendencies. Medical research has yet to explain how stutters develop. Generally, their cause is believed to be a complex mix of biological, psychological, and environmental factors. Childhood trauma is often associated with stuttering and may lead to long-term deficits in speech. Brain structure and genetics, often determinants of mental illness, may also play a role. Individuals who suffer from serious mental illness are more likely to experience problems with cognitive processing that lead to speech impairment. Draper stuttering is a distinct, mysterious characteristic. In this intense moment of heightened arousal, he does not stutter once.
Mr. Rascal, just moving for I saw it. He was going like this, I thought it was joking, and I'm like, yeah, it's joking. They're trying to, he's trying to splash it on his flip cake at all. So we have to kill her. I can't play in this. We have to kill her. So stab it out of the way. I, I, I heard it go in. I heard the chest, but I don't know the chest. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a joke.
Cat.
We just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just
Bro, take that nigga to
disappear.
jail. He's weird.
The two were
Weirdo.
sent to Idaho State Correctional Institution following their initial convictions and remain set to live the rest of their lives in prison.
Got to. That nigga weird. Hold on. He's got fried. We finna watch this last video. This say serial killers. Hold on. Let me turn my mic up. Alright, we finna watch this last video game. This bit called Serial Killer Has Been Caught 40 Years Later game. That shit sound crazy. I'm finna turn my mic down so you feel me, y'all can hear it and shit. But let's see what this bit talking about.
Two young sisters, 10-year-old Catherine and 12-year-old Sheila Lyon, disappeared without a trace.
The two sisters were walking just a half mile from their home to Wheaton
That nigga's a weirdo.
Montgomery County, Maryland.
That morning, they left their home before noon to visit the Wheaton Plaza shopping mall. The plan was simple: hang out with friends and grab some pizza. Their mother had one rule: they had to be home by 4 p.m. But the girls never made it back.
A massive search effort came up empty. No bodies, no arrests. The trail went cold.
The only potential clue was a police sketch of a young man the sisters were reportedly seen speaking with at the mall.
Pictures taken back from that time period that got me to the That's the guy right there.
What followed was a relentless search that stretched over 4 decades. Thousands of police officers and FBI agents poured time and effort into the case. Countless hours were spent questioning potential suspects. And still, that was only a glimpse into the long, painful road that lay ahead for everyone involved in this heartbreaking mystery.
Montgomery County Police just confirmed they're searching for leads in a decades-old case.
40 years? Bro, 40 years is way too long if y'all don't know,
Chris
gang.
Hamrock has spent many years leading the cold case unit at his local police department. He doesn't exactly remember how the Lyon sisters case ended up on his desk or what led to it, but he admits it completely consumed him.
The two sisters were walking just a half mile from their home to Wheaton Plaza Mall in Montgomery County, Maryland. A massive search effort came up empty. No bodies, no arrests. The trail went cold.
Over time, one of the key suspects who has come into focus is Ray Molesky, a man with a long record of arrests for various offenses. Although the authorities never managed to definitively connect him to Catherine and Sheila's disappearance in 1975, among all the registered offenders in Maryland at the time, he was the one who lived closest to the girls. It's known for certain that about a week before the sisters vanished, Ray was spotted just a block or two from the Lyon family home. The catch? Ray passed away in 2010. Still, Chris Hamrock refuses to let the case go. In a way, he is chasing shadows, following leads connected to Ray for 3 years after his death, determined to find the truth. Then one night, Chris hits a breaking point. He knows he can't keep going and that it is time to bring the case to a close. While meticulously sorting through the files, knowing exactly where each document belongs among the 20 boxes of Lyon case materials, he stumbles upon testimony he's never seen before. The statement comes from a teenager named Lloyd Welch, a 6-page report submitted to the Montgomery County Police. In it, he claims to have seen the girls being let out of the mall. On the cover page, investigators have written "lied" because Welch later failed a polygraph test. Still, one detail grabs Chris Hamrock's attention: The man who took the sisters walked with a limp, a description that matches Ray Molesky perfectly. When Hamrock digs into Welch's background, he discovers that tracking him down will not be difficult. Welch has a lengthy criminal record and, most importantly, is currently serving time for one of his offenses in Delaware. Detective Dave from the Dover City Police Department is the first to interview Lloyd Welch.
These two little girls here have never been found, and their parents are damn near 80 years old. They have no idea what happened to their daughters. That's why we're here to talk to you.
Knowing Welch's troubled past and personality, Dave quickly adopts the role of the good cop, careful not to scare him off and hoping to encourage him to talk.
I'm asking for work release. Good Lord willing, I'm hoping to be out of here. I don't want to die in prison. I really don't, you know.
With Lloyd waiting on parole, time is running out. The detectives are determined not to let him go without getting every bit of information he has. What follows is a rigorous and focused interrogation.
Okay, what did you see?
I seen a guy put two girls in the back of a car. It didn't look right. The way the girls were acting and stuff like that, they looked like they were scared. One of them was crying, and he slammed the door and jumped in and took off.
Some of the questions I asked you about the people back then, believe it or not, we have some pictures. You think that'll help jog your memory a little bit?
Like I said, it's been over 40 years.
Detective Dave relies heavily on photo lineups, hoping that seeing pictures will help Lloyd identify Ray Molesky as the man who took the Lyon sisters from the mall nearly 40 years ago.
So the picture taken back from that time period, if that guy means anything to you.
That's the guy right there.
Lloyd says he saw Molesky take the girls and drive away in a black Plymouth.
Do you remember where you saw this?
I guess you'd call it a liquor store, country store.
Do you ever remember anything about a mall? Being inside a mall and seeing something similar to this?
No. Only time I ever saw anything about two girls was out there on that corner that night.
But here's the twist. His current story differs quite a bit from the one he gave back in 1975. Back then, he claimed the abduction happened inside Wheaton Plaza Mall, and instead of a black Plymouth, he mentioned a red Camaro parked nearby.
What we have here is your actual statement that you gave to the police.
Okay.
And
Bro, so this nigga just lied. Bro, hold on. Let me turn this fucking mic up. This nigga just lied. He lied. Fo, what the fuck is wrong with him, gang? He just lied, nigga, in my motherfucking face. Fuck you mean? Wait, we gotta watch this shit. We gotta watch this shit. I'm not gonna lie. Whoa. I ain't mean to do that.
March 25th.
Hold on.
Microphone for a radio show.
How did I do?
It looked like you were scared. One of them was crying.
Alright, right here.
He slammed the door, jumped in, and took off.
All nearly 40 years ago.
so the picture taken back from that time period, if that guy means anything to you.
That's the guy right there.
Lloyd said
Only time I ever saw anything about two girls was
Is your actual statement that you
Right here. He's a bitch.
okay.
And it has you living down on Baltimore Avenue in Hyattsville. That was your dad's address.
Right. I don't remember this. I swear, I can't remember me saying anything about a mall.
Wheaton Plaza.
So in 1975, many people that were in the mall that day saw an adult man carrying a tape recorder in a briefcase, who apparently asked children to say something into the microphone for a radio show. Detective Hamrock suspects this man might have been Ray Molesky. His partner Davis also thinks this makes sense, until they hear Lloyd's new version, which introduces some conflicting details. These contradictions give Davis
It's
pause
probably
and
both
make
of them.
him
I'm not
rethink
gonna
the
lie. It's
case.
probably both of
That's
them.
when he decides to bring out a photo of a young Lloyd Welch.
That's me?
That's you. That was a drawing that was made.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't remember the mall. The only thing I ever remember about two girls getting into a car is when they were at the mall store.
The young man in the police sketch does bear some resemblance to Lloyd from 1977, suggesting that his earlier statement
Nigga, that look just like that nigga.
may be closer to the truth. But The real question is, why is he changing his story now? It's clear Welch was involved somehow, but what role did he play? At one point, Detective Dave Davis steps out of the room for a break, leaving Lloyd alone, unaware that what happens next is likely being recorded.
Oh, they got me. Oh, they got me.
After the break, Lloyd changes his story. He now claims he was at the mall
they
with
got
his
me.
girlfriend
Oh, they
Helen,
got me.
and
Yeah, they
together
got
saw
you,
Ray
nigga.
Molesky carrying a tape recorder.
We were at the mall that day, and I did see him in there in a suit with a briefcase, and he was talking to some girl. And we saw him in the parking lot area, and he had them two girls with him. He was putting him in the car, and I told Helen, I said, man, something just ain't right. We got on the bus, we left. I felt 5 days something was uncomfortable. I did go back to the mall, and I did make that statement.
How the hell do I know if it's true? You know what I mean?
The first thing that would go through somebody's mind, is he involved in it?
Right.
No, I'm not involved. I never killed anybody. I never hurt anybody in my life as far as that concerned. I never kidnapped anybody, and I never ever would.
Right.
Dave plays along, though he doesn't believe Lloyd, acting as if he considers him innocent.
Right. I think we're pretty much done. But what I'm trying to come in again, your opinion only. What do you think he did to his girls?
Personally,
Yeah, I'm asking your opinion.
well, my opinion is that he killed him. He killed him, probably burned him, I don't know.
The theory that the sisters were burned didn't sit right with the detective.
What?
Typically, people who genuinely have no knowledge of what happened don't speculate on the specifics of how the perpetrator disposed of the victims. Yet,
What?
does that. It only gives one version, which raises red flags. As a result, Dave Davis decides to officially name Lloyd Welch as a person of interest in the case. Welch is lying. There's no doubt he knows more than he's telling the investigators.
Our cold case squad has been able to identify a man who is currently incarcerated as a convicted child sex offender, and we have established that this man was at Wheaton Plaza on that day and may have had contact with the lying girls. The person of interest is Lloyd Lee Welch. Although he is originally from the Washington, D.C. area, Welch has traveled extensively throughout the United States during the 1970s, 80s, and early 90s. He was employed by a carnival company, often setting up at shopping malls. Welch was a ride operator for the carnival. Lloyd was accompanied in his travels by his girlfriend, Helen Craver.
The interrogation goes on, with Detective Dave sticking to his good cop approach. Lloyd becomes increasingly confident in his story, even offering the detectives a gift. He volunteers to take a polygraph test to prove once and for all that he's telling the truth.
Regarding the disappearance of those girls, do you intend to answer truthfully each question about that?
Yes.
Did you do anything to cause the disappearance of those girls?
No.
After a series of questions, the examiner steps out to review the initial results. Unfortunately, they're not looking good, especially since the toughest questions haven't even been asked yet.
You didn't do real good, which I'm a little disappointed about, because I hope we have, something good going on here. Reception indicated. That's a really high amount.
Reception indicated, what's that mean?
That means that you're lying about the girls.
I'm not lying. I don't know nothing about it. This is over. Let's go. Start putting words in my mouth.
Lloyd gets visibly upset and insists on seeing Detective Dave, whom he now truly trusts as his only friend in the room.
I'm gonna give you something, Dave. You think about this, okay? I wasn't involved. The picture you showed was the guy that takes girls. And I used to get high with him, stuff like that. I went over to the house.
Where? Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I can't, I want to say it was a week. It had a fence around it. There was a small little wire fence. Had a basement in the bottom.
What was in the basement?
A little bar there. A bed, some chair, a couch, a TV. We did a lot of partying. They had a back room.
Did you ever go back in
No, the door was always locked. Nobody ever went in that room.
He then provides a detailed description of Ray Molesky's house, the fence, the basement entrance, and Davis recognizes it from other crimes connected to Molesky. Gradually, Lloyd's account starts to sound more credible.
Get ready to go in and I escaped. I broke in, I got scared. I knew that was the girls that picked up the ball.
So what they look like, what they wear,
They weren't wearing nothing. Nothing. They were drugged up. You could tell they were drugged up because they were laying there like that. When I heard the scream, I just looked in, and it was him and two other people in there.
you remember who they
So I
were.
could see their faces. I knew it was two men. They were schooling the boys. See their faces. That's why I got scared and ran. Can't tell you on what.
In a surprisingly short time, Lloyd transforms from a casual mall witness into someone who claims to know the perpetrator personally, even saying he witnessed the sisters being abused in the basement.
Bro.
On March 25th, the anniversary of the girl's disappearance, the investigation team resumes questioning, hoping the significance of the date might trigger some emotional reaction from Lloyd Welch, if he has any to give.
There's a lot of stuff that you told me that's not true.
Believe what you want. I don't care.
It's not a matter of believing. I believe what evidence tells me.
Charge me or let me go back to myself.
But how do you get a pathological liar with no motivation to be honest to finally break? The interview slowly turns into a game, with Lloyd carefully testing what the detectives already know.
We found a lot of cases all across Maryland, South Carolina, Florida that look like they got your name on them. Girls that have disappeared, girls that were found. We found all this old evidence, all these old fingerprints, DNA stuff that was never asked.
There's no solid evidence. Detective Mark Janney, a colleague of Dave Davis, calls Lloyd's bluff, and it pays off.
I don't know what happened to those girls, and I don't
He
know
called
what
his bluff.
Can we
You a bitch.
clarify the last time when Dave talked to you and you said that you saw him at that house naked in the
I
basement?
did see two girls at a home. That was true. I ran. I was scared. He knew I saw.
If there was somebody else that was there, you need to tell us who it was.
I don't know if the person is still alive or not.
And are you afraid of the person?
Yeah.
How in the hell are they going to get to you with you?
It's not me I'm worried about. My sisters and my brothers, my kids. He said he'd find them and he'd kill everybody.
Why don't you tell us the person's name and we can make a phone call now and see if that person's alive?
My cousin Teddy's still alive.
What's his last name?
It'd be Teddy Welch.
Then another figure comes into focus, someone who is a relative of Lloyd.
So what was his role?
Him and the other guy is the one grabbed him.
So it's not the guy whose picture we showed you that was old? Was that just to steer us in the wrong direction?
No, I'm saying he didn't look familiar, so I can't say that I knew him.
Suddenly, Lloyd claims Molesky had nothing to do with it. Instead, the crime was organized by his cousin Teddy and another man. While most people caught in lies get nervous, Lloyd remains completely calm. He simply changes course and begins telling a new version of the story with ease.
So if I have this straight, you're at the mall, you see Teddy and this other guy grab these girls.
Yeah.
What you told us before was true about seeing them get pushed in a car or something?
Yeah. It was a Camaro, and it was Teddy. I think it was blue.
Teddy Welch soon responds to the detective's request to talk. Furious that his cousin is trying to drag him into this disturbing case, Teddy says Lloyd is the black sheep of the family, someone everyone tries to avoid.
Obviously, you know what we're doing in terms of our investigation.
Investigating a cousin of mine that you suspected of killing Diana's daughters.
According to Teddy, even at family gatherings, nobody welcomed Lloyd's presence. They were just waiting for him to leave.
I ain't gonna lie, fuck.
Volatile, tough.
Fuck this face cam shit. I'm finna go lay down in the bed. I'm tired, man. But I'm still gonna be watching this with y'all boys.
Lloyd's dad was even worse. He wasn't just a drinker, he was permanently drunk. Practically had alcohol for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and never really sobered up. Teddy agrees to take a polygraph test, but fails it 3 times.
What?
Poor results on smoking too much weed. The investigation hits a dead end. They can't prove Teddy's involvement, but Teddy also can't convince everyone otherwise. The situation is at a standstill. Detective Dave Davis is left confused. Teddy's connection isn't clear. Was there another guy? Should they keep searching? Meanwhile, Lloyd begins to negotiate.
What if I tell you who the other person is, and you go and talk to him, and all of a sudden it's, no, I didn't have nothing to do with it.
You've already talked to that person. The person's an ass.
Detective Dave takes a risk and bluffs, but it looks like Welch is ready to reveal
And
names.
bluffs.
Yeah, Uncle Dickie.
Right.
That's when a new figure emerges, Richard Welch, known as Uncle Dick or Dickie, as Lloyd calls him. And once again, it's a family member.
Teddy got to talking to these two girls. Uncle Dick stayed in the car.
What kind of car was it?
It was a station wagon. It was a Ford,
Uncle
I believe.
Dickie.
The fourth car in our story, right?
Teddy got him to go outside. We all left.
At this moment, Lloyd gets into the car with the girls for the first time.
What?
Before that, he has only described himself as a witness.
Nah.
The next day you see him in the basement?
Next day, Uncle Dickie put the lock on the basement door. You know, nobody could get in there.
According to Lloyd, Sheila and Catherine Lyon were held there for about 2 weeks.
How did he get rid of them? He just couldn't just open the door and say go. Hyattsville, Wheat, Silver Spring back then was pretty populated.
I mean, Virginia ain't that far away. You know, we got relatives that live in Virginia. You know, I've stayed with them when I was a kid, growing away from home and stuff.
In Virginia?
In Thaxton, yeah.
While Lloyd faces questioning behind bars, Richard Welch's house, Uncle Dick's residence, is being searched for the first time in nearly 40 years.
Richard Allen Welch Sr. was a security guard in Wheaton at the time of the disappearance. He's now over 70 years old and a person of interest in this unsolved case.
Nah.
Richard's Hyattsville home at least twice.
And authorities strongly believe there are others out there who know what happened.
Detective Dave Davis discovers that this family moved to Hyattsville, Maryland, sometime around the 1950s or 60s, having previously lived on Taylor Mountain in West Virginia. The detectives travel there and are greeted by one of Welch's neighbors.
I've just seen a lot of cops and stuff coming in and out here. A lot of private looking vehicles, but they all were cops. It don't make you feel too good, and you don't know what's going on.
When the man asks what they're searching for, the detective bluntly replies, bodies. He then points toward a small cemetery near the mountain summit, home to about 30 graves of local residents.
What?
A perfect place to hide someone forever, so remote that even the local police rarely go up there. Could the Lyon sisters be buried somewhere on that mountain? 40 years earlier, the community searched everywhere for the girls. In the town, the forests and the fields. Divers scoured all the lakes and rivers, but no sign was ever found. Around 100 people take part in this new search, including police officers, FBI agents, and forensic experts.
Montgomery County Police just confirmed they're searching for leads in a decades-old case. We know the property was once owned by the family of Lloyd Lee Welch Jr.
What do you know about
Lloyd? He's a drifter. He would come and go. My mother always told me to stay away from him.
Connie Akers, another relative of Lloyd, Uncle Dick, and Teddy Welch, lived in that mountain house as a teenager when the Lyon girls went missing.
I do remember Lloyd in 1975 coming to the house with his wife, or whoever she was. She was pregnant. It was warm weather because I remember getting clothes off the clothesline.
Around that same time, Helen, Lloyd's girlfriend, was pregnant, so the timeline aligns.
I remember just began, she's there with the bag. It was an army green duffel bag. So full.
Big enough that you could put one of these girls in?
Sure. Duffel bag, like right in the middle of all four of us.
Lloyd, Helen, Connie, and her brother Henry. That's the group being talked about.
Duffel bag was packed. Lloyd, I remember him opening it up and such a foul smell. And I asked him, why are your clothes so bloody? And he said that they had bought beef.
Since Henry Welch, Connie's brother, was likely there too, he might have valuable information. Detectives locate him and bring him in for questioning.
You know what happened to those kids' bodies?
Well, I do not know. I wish I knew. I would tell you.
Henry, who's just over 50, is very frail and practically dependent on an oxygen tank.
Lloyd come down here to get rid of those kids' bodies?
I don't know what he did. I don't know.
What else did you see?
Nothing.
What else did you hear?
Nothing.
Still, he surprisingly confirms the story about the bag, though he denies knowing what was inside it.
I didn't see no bodies or nothing. Just that bag, the green duffel bag,
That was full of bloody sheets and bodies. That stunk. Connie looked at it, and you were standing right there. For God's sakes, Henry, we're trying to help you.
I have not met hell no. Connie's wrong. She's telling lie right there.
Oh no, she's going to testify to it.
God.
Right. She's going to testify to it.
She's probably testifying right now.
God.
Henry and his sister Connie had a long-standing falling out over their family's inheritance, specifically the property on Taylor's Mountain, and haven't spoken in years.
Henry and I don't talk anymore. He's his own beat.
That detail matters. Despite having no contact, both siblings describe the same thing, seeing Lloyd with a green military-style duffel bag.
What was in the bag, Henry? No, something around. What was in the bag? You're going to get a pass one way or the other. It's either a pass to jail or a pass to walk out of here.
Could have been them kids in the bag.
What were you told was in the bag?
He said it was a dead dog.
Bull. He shows up there with a bag of bloody clothes, and you're gonna believe it's a dead dog?
I didn't look at it. Stowed over in the fire.
Your neighbors have told us they remember that fire.
We had a big fire in our burning.
Around the same time Lloyd was seen carrying that bag, a fire was burning non-stop on the mountain, reportedly started accidentally by the Welches themselves. Locals who have lived there for years still recall the unbearable stench, so strong it made people nauseous. It was the distinct smell of burning skin and hair.
Well, you can see the FBI agents and sheriff's deputies from Bedford County on this hillside now actively digging. Some new leads have brought them to these specific spots.
At the charred remains of the old fire pit, investigators find a small, bent piece of wire. Back then, Sheila wore glasses with wire frames. They also uncover pieces of a beaded necklace, just like the one Catherine had on the day she disappeared. Forensic investigators also discover fragments of human bones, the first real physical evidence in the case in 40 years. But when the lab results finally arrive, the team is met with crushing disappointment. The bones have been so badly burned and deteriorated over the years that none can be conclusively tied to the Lyon sisters. There simply isn't enough viable DNA. Once again, the investigation hits a dead end.
Bro, nah,
Still,
nigga, it can't
Dave
no
Davis
dead end. You
puts
see
on
them
his
glasses,
signature calm
nigga?
smile and heads back in to talk to Lloyd Welch.
Tapn's treasure.
Well, look who it is.
Now, Dick has these two little kids in his house.
Yeah. And I walked in and see when I seen it. I turned around and walked back out because I didn't want to be involved. I said, we need to go, man. And she said, where are we going to go?
Where'd y'all go?
Just traveling. South Carolina, then Florida. And I don't remember all the other places.
This time, Dave presses him to admit he traveled to Virginia, something the detective is certain happened. Welch is believed to have taken a bag there filled with bloody rags, and possibly the girls themselves.
Is it possible that you and Helen showed up down in Virginia right after this incident just to get away from these family members and this crazy madness that was going on up here?
It's a very, very strong possibility that we went there first. We hitchhiked down there.
Where'd you carry your I mean,
Duffel bag.
do you remember what the bag looked like?
It was a green duffel bag. It was my old army duffel bag. That son of a bitch was packed too. People go to pick that up to help throw it up in the car and they're like, oh my God.
I think you know where I'm going with this.
I had bodies in there. Come.
Where they're going with it.
Oh, that's a good one.
They're testifying to this stuff.
Nigga, you know you did. Weirdo. Why is he like, bro, he's weird.
Killed these two girls.
I didn't say you killed them.
Bitch, you did, bitch.
That you showed up down there.
With a duffel bag with Helen that had bodies in it and Henry threw them in the fire. Come on. If he threw them in the fire and there was bodies in there, they'd stink like bodies.
Smell like burning rats.
Boy, that's the best one I've heard you.
That's what I said.
Lloyd quickly realizes he's been backed into a corner and tries to laugh it off, throwing out jokes and deflections. Detective Mark Janney, Dave Davis's partner, steps in next. He's laid out all of Lloyd's conflicting accounts in one place, and what emerges is a tangled web of contradictions and lies.
Initially, you say, I was never at Wheaton Plaza. I never talked to any police. I don't remember any of that. I didn't do any of that. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was me. I was there. I do remember seeing this guy putting his girls in a car. One of them was crying. Here's the deal. I went to his house and I saw the girls in the basement crying and naked. And is my cousin Ted still alive? Because he was the one that I saw that day leaving with the girls and some other guy. Okay, yeah, it was Dick that was with us. Dick was driving the car. Connie and Henry both tell the same story about you and Helen showing up down there on the mountain with that duffel bag. That it was bloody, that it smelled like something dead was in it, and then it got burned on that fire.
After a brief exchange, Lloyd stands up and tries to leave.
I'm ready to go, sir. This conversation's over with.
But then, he pauses, turns around, and sits back down. Why? Because even though walking away would be the safer choice, he's curious. He wants to know what the detectives have on him. What's pushing them so hard?
First of all, I didn't kill him.
Okay.
I didn't burn him. I did not do that. I can tell you who did.
Okay.
Me and Helen, we did hitchhike to Virginia. That night, Dickie came down. It was about 1:30. There was a big old fire going, and I seen Dickie and Henry grab a bag and walk over to the fire and throw it in. Me and Helen, after that, said it was time for us to book out, and we left. What was in that bag, in my mind, was the girls.
The investigators sense they're close to breaking through, but Lloyd still isn't telling the whole truth.
Still, they're still blaming it all on me.
Yeah, they're blaming it on you.
Lloyd did it. Lloyd's in
It's
jail.
the easiest thing to do.
Sure.
Dave keeps playing his part, maintaining the good cop approach, while his partner Mark decides to pull a clever trick. Lloyd's wife Helen has passed away, but what if, in a way, they could bring her back?
Helen's diary, that's been my big thing that I'm working on.
I never knew she wrote a journal.
Well, she didn't, I don't think, when she was with you. It was very clear that you were the love of her life.
There was no diary, of course, but since Lloyd and Helen had split up long before her death, he couldn't be certain she hadn't written something incriminating about him.
March 23rd, Dick approached me and Teddy. Dick had this plan to go up to the Wheaton Mall, like I said, pick up a couple girls, party with them, have sex with them.
Lloyd then claims he asked the girls if they wanted to smoke some weed, implying that's how he lured them out of the building.
And I said, hey, do y'all want to get high? And the older one said, oh, we've never gotten high before. We don't do that. I said, well, try it. Peace and love and rock and roll. The younger one said, no, I don't want to go. And her sister said, oh, come on. You know, I mean, we're just going to get high, you know? So Dick pulls up. The older girl got in the front. I got in the back. The other girl got in the back. I don't know if she was crying or what. I guess it was the next day, the next morning or whatever. Dick and Teddy came over to the house and asked me and Helen if we'd watch two girls, just babysit for a while. We watched them. Helen, she played with them and everything like that. Neither one of them said anything about, hey, are you going to get us back up to the mall or anything like that. So we watched them for about 4 or 5 hours. Dick finally came back upstairs.
He says Uncle Dick paid Helen to watch the kids, and that was the last time they saw the Lyon sisters.
We know a lot, and we know you still know a lot.
At this point, detectives from Bedford County join the investigation. The unfamiliar faces make Lloyd uneasy, and the pressure on him starts to mount.
Do you also understand in the state of Virginia, you do not have to touch those girls to be charged with homicide? Do you understand?
I didn't know that.
Laws and legal standards can differ significantly from state to state, and Virginia is no exception. In this state, courts are often more receptive to cases built on strong circumstantial evidence, even if hard physical proof is lacking. That's exactly what happens with Lloyd Welch. There are no bodies, no concrete forensic evidence. But through his own words, he manages to link himself to the disappearance of the Lyon sisters. The fact that they've never been found, even after decades, points to a grim conclusion. And in Virginia, that can be enough to move forward. At this point, the detectives don't need to keep searching or prove every last detail. Lloyd has done most of the work for them, long before a trial even begins.
What in the world is going on?
You tell me.
The last thing I want you to do is admit to something you didn't do.
And I'm not.
You're not going to do it, and I'm not going to let you do it. The important thing is who killed them and where were they killed.
I can give you my suspicions.
Give it to me. That's where we need to start.
I honestly think that it was Dickie and Lee.
Lee is the name of Lloyd's father and also the brother of Uncle Dick. According to him, his uncle had a favorite fishing spot under a bridge. It may have been more than just a peaceful getaway. It could have been where he got rid of his victims. The day after the interview, Detective Dave decides to check out the spot under the bridge for himself. But the area turns out to be wide open. There are no hidden corners or secluded spaces like Lloyd had described. Once again, it seems Lloyd was trying to mislead the investigation. As Dave is leaving, he notices a house on Baltimore Avenue, the very one where Lee and Lloyd Welch once lived. Thinking he has nothing to lose, Dave stops and knocks on the door. The current owner shows him how to access the basement. When Dave goes downstairs, he can hardly believe his eyes. There's a staircase, small windows, and a room below. It's obvious there used to be a door with a padlock. This means Lloyd was actually describing the basement of his childhood home, where he lived with his father. The detective calls in the forensic team, who spray luminol on the walls. Any spot touched by even a tiny drop of blood lights up with a bright blue glow. Blood is found everywhere, but the corner of the basement's farthest room, the one that was always locked, glows particularly brightly. Just then, new information comes to light. Richard Welch, known as Uncle Dickie, was involved in producing and distributing illegal films at the time.
What?
Dave Davis hints to Lloyd that he knows about this.
I saw Dickie having sex. Lee was in the basement, and he had a camera.
The basement at your old house in Baltimore Avenue. Unfinished. Not only is it still there, it doesn't look like it's changed. We went in that basement yesterday and we sprayed it with a chemical and we came out with blood. Point blank.
This breaks Lloyd down and makes him more open than he's been in a long time. For the first time in a while, Dave feels like the suspect is actually starting to talk.
What did you see? I'm honestly believing one of those girls either tried to get away or something happened to where Dickie lost control.
Okay.
And him and Lee killed him. I'm honestly thinking that the younger one is the one that tried to get away because she's the one that didn't want to get high.
How do you think she was killed? It's not, man. It's written all over your face.
Yeah, but okay. I did see Dickie and my dad down in the basement. I saw Lee pick her neck, and I saw Dickie start to her up. And as they were doing it, Dickie started stuffing body parts into the bag, and Lee started cleaning up blood.
Where did it happen in the basement?
In the very far back room.
The only thing left to clear up is what happened to Sheila. Lloyd says she was taken to Virginia to continue filming videos. The last time he saw her was at Taylor's Mountain, and she was still alive then.
It's out. It's off my chest. I feel 9% better right now. And a little weight off my shoulders.
Lloyd Welch has never fully admitted direct responsibility for the girls' deaths, but ultimately, he's linked himself to every part of this terrible crime.
Okay. Yeah. I was in the basement. I seen what happened like that. I was threatened, multiple threats, that I could be cut up to if I didn't help too. He wanted me to do. Lee and Dick did do the cutting. I helped clean up a little bit, not a lot, because it made me sick to my stomach. They took the bag and put it in the car and told me to take it down to Virginia, and Henry would be down there waiting with a fire, and to throw the bag on the fire. I don't know what Dickie did with the car after that. I know as soon as I came back, they cleaned it up. Dickie drove off with the car.
So who else in the family knows this story?
Lee, but he's dead. I guess Henry knows it. I didn't know Connie knew. And I'm 99.9 sure that Patty knows. Dick's wife.
Just out of curiosity, why did you bring Teddy into the long scenario way back when?
Scapegoat.
In any case, to avoid the death penalty, Lloyd agrees to a plea deal, knowing he will be found guilty no matter what.
Tuesday, Welch pled guilty in Bedford to 2 counts of first-degree murder.
He spoke in a high, raspy voice and never once looked back at John and Mary Lyon. The judge agreed to a 48-year sentence for each of the girls' deaths.
Sheila and Catherine Lyon's parents request privacy, but still step forward to express their gratitude to the detectives.
They have treated Sheila and Kate as if they were their own sisters or daughters. It's been a long time. And we're tired. And we just want to go home.
Henry Welch, afraid of going to prison, dies from an overdose of his medication, likely not by accident. Lloyd's father, Lee Welch, had died long before the investigation even began. Uncle Dickie was never formally charged in connection with the Lyon sisters, as investigators never found solid evidence linking him to the case.
I know I'm going to jail.
Yeah, you know you is. Weird ass nigga. That nigga a buster. Night stalker. I don't even want to watch that shit.
This is Gene Stalker.
Alright, that's the last video I'm watching on here. I'm finna end this shit, but hey, again, y'all should feel me. Y'all should subscribe. Y'all should really subscribe and get me to 1,000.